In this video we are going to talk about the 5 very bizarre missing person cases part 2. So before starting this video, like this video and subscribe to Crime Maze YouTube channel for future updates. With serial killers and psychotic criminals, rapes, and unsolved murders, the world may be a dark and frightening place. We are already overburdened with various crimes, and we now have to deal with missing people cases, which, unfortunately, frequently go unresolved or turn out to be awful weird instances. Here are the top 5 most unusual missing person instances. Number 5. Manuela Orlandi. Manuela Orlandi was the fourth of Ercole and Maria Orlandi's 5 children. According to HuffPost Italy, her father worked as a Vatican clerk, organizing papal audiences. The adolescent had just finished her second year of high school when she went missing. Manuela left the family's apartment in Vatican City on June 22, 1983, to attend a flute lesson at the Sant'Apollinare complex in Rome. According to The Spectator, on her way to the flute lesson, a man in a green BMW approached her on the street and offered her money to sell Avon cosmetics, an encounter that left her worried. She called her sister, who advised her to discuss it with their parents. She was preoccupied when she arrived at the lesson and was asked to leave early. About 6:50 p.m. friends observed her board the bus and begin conversing with a red-haired female passenger. But she never came back. The Orlandi family began getting calls in the following days with information concerning their daughter's whereabouts. The first came from a man named Pierluigi, who said that his girlfriend spotted a girl who matched Manuela's description playing the flute in the Campo dei Fiori and selling cosmetics under the name Barbara. After that, the family began getting hundreds of cryptic and hoax messages concerning their daughter, none of which led anywhere. The first inquiry into Manuela's disappearance concluded that she was kidnapped and murdered for sexual reasons. However, because no one has been found, conjecture has ran rampant throughout the years. Number 4. Dale Dinwiddie. Dale Dinwiddie and a group of pals attended a U2 concert at Williams-Brice Stadium in Columbia, South Carolina on September 23, 1992. Dale and her friends went to Jungle Jim's, a prominent nightclub in Columbia, after the event concluded about 11:15 p.m. Her friends left around 1 a.m. on September 24 after being separated from Dale. They told officials that they believed Dale had found another way home or had called her parents to fetch her up. This was not the case. Dale was still present at the nightclub. Dale asked the bouncer at Jungle Jim's if he had seen her pals about 15 minutes after they had departed. Dale walked north on Hardin Street around 1:30 a.m. after a brief conversation with the bouncer. Dale was never seen or heard from after that. The most likely scenario is that Dale was kidnapped and murdered. However, it is unclear if Dale was abducted by a friend or a stranger. According to sources close to the inquiry, Dale was abducted by someone she knew, or at the very least someone who had been pursuing her for a long time. Dale's dental records and DNA are on file, which is wonderful news. If her remains are ever discovered, they will almost certainly be recognized, and the police will have a crime scene to investigate. Given the advancements in crime-solving technology, the police may be able to make some headway in the case if they can obtain any tangible evidence. Anyone with information that leads to the resolution of this case will be eligible for a $20,000 reward. Number 3. Tara Grinstead. Tara Grinstead, a 30-year-old high school history teacher who vanished and was presumed murdered, has been missing for almost a decade. Grinstead was last seen on Friday, October 22, 2005, at a barbecue, but she was not reported missing until the following Monday, when she failed to show up for work. Investigators battled with the case for 12 years, unable to gather tangible evidence or provide any convincing suspects. Grinstead was deemed legally dead by a probate judge in 2010, and the case was closed. Tara Grinstead's case began to unravel just over a decade after she went missing, when the podcast Up and Vanished began exploring her disappearance in 2016. A woman came forward a year later, alleging that her boyfriend was involved in Grinstead's murder. 2 of Grinstead's former students, Ryan Duke and Bo Dukes, were arrested in February and March 2017 for her murder and subsequent cover-up. 2 counts of making false statements, impeding the apprehension or punishment of a criminal, and concealing a death, according to Bo Duke's charges. A jury found him guilty of all 4 offenses on March 21, 2019, and he was sentenced to 25 years in prison the next day. Dukes is said to have spoken directly to Tara Grinstead's family and apologized for his role in her death. In a separate case, Dukes was charged by a grand jury in October 2019 on counts of sexual assault. Ryan Duke recanted his confession 5 years after confessing to Tara Grinstead's murder as he awaited trial. The trial had been postponed for years due to a dispute between the state and the defense about who would pay for expert witnesses. Following that, the Georgia Supreme Court determined that the defense, which had agreed to take the case pro gratis, may use public funds. Both Ryan Duke and Bo Dukes were present during a pretrial hearing on March 8, 2022. Dukes could be called as a witness in the upcoming trial, according to some reports. Number 2. Danica Childs. Danica Childs, a 17-year-old girl from Washington, went missing just days before Christmas in 2007, after she failed to show up for a shopping trip with her sisters and friends. Danica's possessions were discovered in a motel renowned for sleazy and illicit behavior, including her cell phone. Danica's mother felt her daughter was in grave danger when she eventually figured out her cell phone password. Danica's sister got a message from someone claiming to be Danica in 2015, but the social media account from which the message was sent was promptly erased. Since then, no one has heard from her. Number 1. Caitlyn Aikens. Caitlyn Aikens and her fiancé, Amber, lived in Arizona. Her family and friends describe her as caring, strong-willed, and brilliant. Caitlyn traveled to Virginia on December 1, 2015, to see her newborn nephew and to pick up her high school certificate from her mother, Lisa. She was meant to fly home 4 days later, but she never boarded the plane and was never seen alive again. Because she couldn't obtain the day off, Lisa asked Caitlyn's ex-stepfather, James Branton, to bring her to Reagan National Airport in Washington. James agreed, but said he'd have to drop her off at 1 p.m. because he had a shift at 3 p.m. Caitlyn's biological father abandoned her when she was a child. Lisa married James when she was 7 years old, and despite their 6-year divorce, he continued to spend the holidays with Caitlyn and her sister Gabby. Despite their seeming closeness, Caitlyn admitted to others that she was uneasy around James, that he made her apprehensive, and that he was verbally abusive. Lisa delivered Caitlyn to James' home on Oakcrest Drive in Partlow, Virginia, around 9:20 a.m. She never saw her daughter again, sadly. She stood 5 feet 4 inches tall, weighed 120 pounds, and had short blonde hair and blue eyes. She has 5 butterfly tattoos on her arm, 3 stars on her right foot, and multiple piercings on her ears, navel, nose, and lips, according to the FBI. Caitlyn would be 25 today if she were still alive. What do you think about this video? Do let us know down in the comments section below. If you enjoyed this video and want to hear from us again, be sure to hit that subscribe button before you go.